Ion.
Hello. Hi. I know we're kind of strangers right now, but we are back ish.
That you don't know. He said might be, might not be. Who knows? We'll see next week.
we'll see. We're seeing. We're vibing. That's what we're doing. Hello again. My name is Jordan. We have Nickie. We have Darrell, and we are hell. I don't know. So I don't know what the fuck we're talking about today, but I know we're going to be talking about some debate topics and some catching up about our lives, what's been going on. Obviously, I'll kick it off because I'm in a new space, as you can see behind me. I'm not revealing too much, but I have moved officially to Chicago, so that is pretty much what's been taking up most of my time and my life. Um, and yeah, working, same old, what's going on there. Yeah, it's pretty much just moving and getting accustomed to Chicago, which has been really great so far, honestly. So we're moving, we're doing things. What's going on with you, Nikki?
Nothing is going on.
Not you blow your own spot up like that.
Right, like
See, nobody was going to say
you
anything about that.
could have just said anything else, but you said that. Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah. So life has happened over the last 6 weeks. I will
Mm,
say I am not the sole reason why we have been gone for 6 weeks. We kind of all had like an issue happening a time or two while we were here. But since we've been away, I no longer have that job I was working at, which is fine. Um, what?
You're just like, which is fine. It is
It's
fine. It's
fine.
great. It's
It is fine.
great.
It's great. I attended the DNC. I went to Costa Rica with these guys. My mother and sister were here, and then all of my friends flew in from New York and DC, and Jordan was here too, to hang out in Chicago.
really quickly,
I am
Nikki,
friends.
before we get to Daryl, really quick, how was Costa Rica for you, Nikki?
Costa Rica. Um, Costa Rica is a country that I don't ever have to go back to ever again.
Wow.
I know Daryl loved it.
Shots
It
have been
was
fired.
just his jazz. But fun fact, when I was in Costa Rica, that's when I lost my job.
Mm,
So,
We know that. We know.
but life is good. Like I'm not missing a beat. Um,
mm.
but yeah, Costa Rica is a place, and that's not what I have to go back to Costa Rica, but also like it's very hot, it's very humid. And for those of you who know hot and humid aren't things I necessarily gravitate towards. Um, like I like my house to be an igloo. To I like cold temperatures. So Costa Rica is just it wasn't that, but we did do some things in Costa Rica that I've never done before. Yeah. So yeah, it was an experience.
Mm.
What about you, Daryl or Jordan? Since you didn't talk about Costa Rica either,
Oh no, Daryl can go. I just, specifically wanted to hear your response about Costa Rica. But
we can
Daryl can
dive
go ahead
deep
and
into
share.
other topics of that later. Go ahead, Daryl.
No, these have been great. I feel like of the three of us, my life has stayed the most consistent, and at this point, I'm very happy about that. Um, yeah, I'm in some interesting spaces professionally. I've had a lot of profound realizations and just like, a lot of moving and shaking and things going on. I am happily in a relationship that I've been in for quite a while, and it's still happy and we're still there. And I hate him sometimes, but also love him more than I hate him. So I guess that's why it works. What's that face for?
I'm sure he could say the same thing about you.
He probably could. Honestly, he actually he would do it unprovoked. So I mean, like facts. But here he is. Yeah, Costa Rica was great. I I loved Costa Rica. Where Nickie is, he's cold and frigid, so he didn't really enjoy it as much. But I am hot and spicy, and so I loved Costa Rica. I like the humid weather. I took quite a few thirst traps. I spent a lot of time in water. We went zip lining, which was fucking terrifying for specifically for Jordan and I. Um, but we had a really good time. It was very, very fun. And it was just the three of us, so we got to just like hang out and talk and we, play some games and it was fun. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. I would do it again,
Switch
but
to
not with Nickie.
Airbnbs.
We switched it. We switched. Oh my god! What if by some crazy reason she actually saw? Okay, so story time. Story time. All right, so we planned this Costa Rica trip like pretty late. Like it was like we had been like, oh yeah, we want to go to Costa Rica. We want to go to Costa Rica. Month after month would go by, and like no movement. So then finally we were just like, all right, we really need to get this done. So Nickie and Jordan were gonna move. They had a lot going on. So I was like, you know what? Let me just pick this up. I was like, let's just plan it. I picked out a bunch of Airbnbs, put it in a list, and I was like, hey, do y'all like this one? Do y'all like this one? We were trying to align on which ones we liked and which ones we didn't. And I found one that I thought, oh wow, this is super affordable. It's a really cute Airbnb. It's close to everything. So if we decide not to drive, we'll be able to be in, a certain amount of it's easy to get to. And the pictures look great, and I thought it was great. And I sent that Airbnb listing to both of these niggas right here. Okay. That's important to know. I sent it to both of them, and both of them said, oh, this looks great. Let's do it.
Pause.
So then,
Pause.
we're
Pause.
not going to pause because you agreed. You
No,
agreed.
I
Did
asked.
you not?
I also asked. I said, "Who is sleeping on a pull-out couch?"
Okay, so fair. There was a pull-out couch because it was supposed to be a 3-bedroom thing, but it was 2 bedrooms and a pull-out couch. But it had a nice pool, a nice backyard, and I really, really liked it. So I was like, all good. I'll sleep on the pull-out couch. I'm easy. It doesn't really matter. Here we go. And what is very important is that he asked that question, yes, but then he said, yes, looks good. I bought it that day, whatever. So we get there, and the moment, well, first of all, getting to Costa Rica was, at this point, we wanted to cancel the whole trip because they had to come from Chicago to New York, and then we took the air train from New York to the airport. Then when we got to the fucking airport, the JetBlue terminal should count their fucking days for the fact that they had so many people down there, like so many workers that were literally doing nothing. At this point, I don't even want to be sponsored by JetBlue because at this point, they just like, it was such a fucking catastrophe. It was like, and I'm not exaggerating when I say the three of us sat in that line and was like, if y'all want to, we will cancel this whole fucking trip because they needed to check bags and it was taking forever. We thought we might miss the flight. Whatever, trip from hell. Anyway, so we get there, all good, but we finally get to the Airbnb. I said, "Oh my god,
we didn't get to Airbnb when we got to Costa Rica. We forgot.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so
It was a trip, y'all.
so we landed in Costa Rica hella late. Like we got there like it was like midnight, and we already had been told that the Airbnb was like 2.5 hours away from the airport we flew into. So we were like, we were just gonna get a hotel for the night, but we had to we did decide to get a rental car, so we had to go get the rental car first. So we get on the hotel shuttle, and it took us a while to even get on the shuttle, and I'm not gonna say why, but it was because of Nickie.
Move on.
I'm not gonna say why, but it was because of Nickie. So we get on the shuttle and we get the car. Whatever, we get the car, and at 12 a.m., after I'm delirious, we get in the car and try to drive to the hotel in a different country where, like, I don't know if y'all have ever driven in Costa Rica before, but shit is for the fucking birds. Literally, there was like, it was not a fun experience. And it was like at this point, 1 a.m. And also, we were hungry. So we stopped by McDonald's. And because we have no sense, we forgot that they speak fucking Spanish in Costa Rica. And we couldn't even order a fucking Big Mac because none of us spoke fucking Spanish. It was simultaneously the most hilarious and humiliating experience of my life. That lady who and the guy who finally spoke English and was just like, "Wow, y'all are really fucking stupid." That's really what he gave us. It's like y'all are really fucking stupid.
He did. And the McDonald's wasn't
Anyway,
even good.
it
It
wasn't
was
good.
cold.
It was absolute trash. It was probably the worst McDonald's I ever had. So anyway, we get to the hotel, whatever. That's fine. Next day, we drive to Airbnb. We get to the Airbnb, and I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it captured the Costa Rican flair. It looked like a local home. There was a nice pool in the backyard. There was, I like the vibe. Nickie.
Pause, because before we talk about Nickie, Jordan, you're not gonna hide through this. What was your thoughts on the Airbnb?
I'm sorry. I'm not hiding through anything. I'm listening to Darrell have tell the story of what happened. That's
But
what
he
I'm
keeps
doing.
saying, but Nickie.
Jordan didn't hate the Airbnb. He didn't hate it.
Let Jordan speak for himself.
It is true. I did not hate it. I did not. That is very true. And I walked into this going, Nickie's going to hate this. That's how I walked in.
Mhm.
That's how I walked into the place, and I said, and I knew as soon as we stepped out of the vehicle, and I saw all the stuff in the garage, I said, Nickie's going to hate this. And when we got inside, and I saw Nickie's face, and I realized, oh, we're not going to probably end up staying here for long.
You're political. How did you feel about the Airbnb?
I thought it had character. I thought it was cute.
It had character. It was cute.
You know what I really liked? I loved the pool. I thought the pool area was really cool, like really nice and relaxing and stuff like that. Yeah. What did scare me, not gonna lie, was the pull-out couch. That was or pull-out bed, couch,
mat to pull out mat.
Sure. I don't know because it was pretty scary. Anytime I see a couch that has brown stains, it's automatically a red flag. So, and if she's watching this, sorry.
Well, to be fair, I think I told you after. To be fair, I don't think I told you after this, but I did bring it up to the host of the Airbnb because she was so lovely. Like, she was a lovely woman, and I was, whatever. I brought it up. I was like, I'm not going to put this on your review because I truly do like the place, and you were great to work with. But I mean, you're advertising this as a 3-bedroom, and that pull-out couch just like a mat, like it's not a bed. And it's a little bit dirty, and it's kind of ripped, and it's just like it was bad. It was bad, y'all. And so she responded to me. She was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I thought that you were a family. I didn't know that you were friends." And so usually when they know someone's going to use a pullout, they have like this mattress top pad thing, like a foam mattress thing that they put on top of it, so that you can actually use it as a bed. She said that she apologized for that, and had she known, she would have done that. So that probably would have made it a little bit better. Still would have been dirty. So it still would have been dirty.
The couch still needs to be burned.
Still needs to be burned. I agree with that. But other than that, and the water did not get warm. That's another thing.
I was going to say the two things that really bothered me about the place were the water not getting warm. I didn't understand that.
Mhm.
And the other thing was that was the most uncomfortable furniture I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, the furniture was also pretty uncomfortable.
We might as well have been sitting on rocks.
That's fair. So when I was outside at the pool, I got to the place and I immediately got in the pool like the sun whore that I am. And
mind you, this is like an hour, correct? We've only been here about an hour.
Yes, we've only been there like an hour. It might not
because that's an important detail.
We went to the grocery store, went to the beach. We did those stuff before we came back.
We didn't go. No, we didn't go to the beach. We literally in the car, went there from the grocery store and went back to the place. It had been no more than an hour and a half. No more than an hour and a half.
Max.
And I was in the pool, and Jordan comes out and he's like, "Hey, did you look at your phone?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "You should look at your phone." I look at my phone. Nickie has already purchased another Airbnb 3 minutes away from where we were. Didn't ask nobody, didn't get nobody's opinion, just bought it. And was like, "This will be great." Nothing. Nothing. We were there for an hour and a half. An hour and a half. Oh, see, even Alexa disagreed. Y'all saw my Alexa going off, and she literally was like, I was like, what? Like, he didn't even ask. Like, I mean, granted, the new Airbnb was better. Although that furniture was also a
Was
fucking mess.
also
The
But
also
like,
beds
terrible.
were terrible.
the beds was terrible. They were terrible. But
Terrible.
so we only spent the night in that first Airbnb that first night, and then the next morning we went to the other Airbnb.
Mm.
And
And
Alexa, stop.
she got a lot to
Wow.
say.
Well, they just started. Y'all heard that?
Does Alexa need to be a part of the conversation
Right.
today?
Did you go to Costa Rica? Like, Alexa's like, let me get my story in. Like, whoa, calm down, sis. This is why I say AI is taking over. Anyway, but overall, it was a fun trip. We had a lot of fun, had a
How
lot of
about a hike?
experiences. We went on a hike. That was a lot of fun.
What's this face, Nickie?
For who was the hike fun for?
I had a lot of fun on the hike.
Do I recall you guys having a wonderful time on the hike? I don't know if I recall that.
You didn't recall me having a wonderful time on no hike.
But I have pictures. I was in the waterfall. I had a lot of fun on the hike. The actual hiking part.
There it
Well,
is.
okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. I do hike in regular life. Like I hike. I have hiking boots. I got a water bag. I got all that stuff. The problem was we were hiking in the jungle and the weather was not great. It was kind of like about to rain. And then also it was like a super steep hike, but also it was really muddy and wet. And I just don't think that any of us really expected it to be so like wet. And then
And
also
bridges between
suspension
trees.
bridges.
Well,
Okay, can I be honest?
the bridges between the trees, though, that was in a way on us because we went the wrong way.
But
So,
I will also say I did know that there were suspension bridges on the hike. I did know that. I
and
didn't
you did
know that
not
they were that
disclose
high.
that
No,
information.
no, 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 no. I did know that, but I didn't know that they were that high. I truly didn't know they were that high. I saw the pictures that they were suspension bridges, but I thought, oh, they're going to be like not super high. Like this is going to be like a start situation. Like, but no, those suspension bridges were like it
Uh,
was.
we were up there.
It's
It was
scared as
given
hell.
Tarzan
Scared as
And
hell.
slippery.
and
Yeah, and
slippery.
also Nickie almost had a heart attack. We had to stop. It's like I don't know. You actually, literally might have almost had a heart attack because you couldn't breathe.
I couldn't breathe.
Yeah,
But
that was
fun fact, that was
crazy.
my first time ever hiking in my entire life.
So good
And it
Oh,
was
job.
also
well, good for
yeah.
you.
And it
Wow,
was also
first
the day I lost
time.
my job.
Wait, what? Oh, that
Hmm,
was that day. Oh, that was so awkward.
yeah.
The reason it was awkward is because
The
we had already had plans to go somewhere when Nicki got laid off, and
the
so I
fact
was
that
talking to Jordan.
you did that is amazing to me. Now that I'm thinking about it, like
It is.
Nicky really lost his job and he went and said, "Okay, I'm going to go on a hike in the rainforest."
Yeah. One would say that he took control of the narrative. He enjoyed
Or
himself.
or Darrell refused to leave without me.
Well, that's not actually true because we enjoyed to talk about it, and we were going to leave without you.
Because I would have gladly like go hike.
Hmm.
But I was like, I mean, I did feel like, first of all, I don't care. I'm not going to leave my friend. In that moment, and maybe I was looking out for, like, maybe I was thinking I was being a good friend, but I did think, oh, I don't think we should just leave and go do something. And Nicky's just here by himself. Now, granted, he might have actually genuinely wanted that time for himself, which I think he did, but like, I didn't. I wanted him to come with us, and so he came with us. And then it was a great experience. He got to do something that he's never done before, and we got to do it together. And I don't regret that we did it. And I had a lot of fun. And I think he, in time, will see that he had fun as well.
And we had the Italian restaurant that night.
We had the Italian restaurant. It was very
that
tasty.
that was an experience as well, for sure. But it was great, and we did zip lining. Me and Daryl faced our fears,
Hmm.
which was big. I mean,
Jordan almost didn't do it.
I kind of almost didn't do it. I almost kind of felt like a gun was to my head, even though neither one of them made me go. But I just was like, this is going to be a long wait of me just waiting for them to do this experience. So I said, I'm going to just, fuck it. And I definitely won't lie and say that I was not in a great mood until we got all the way up there because I was pretty scared. I was pretty much like, Nickie knew. He was like, I'm not going to talk much to him. He asked me like, "Are you good?" And I was like, "I'll be fine." He said, and that was it. And we didn't talk the entire way up, going up there to the mountain because I just needed to not. I just needed to, not someone to talk to me through that moment. I don't know. When I get scared, I guess it makes me more anxious if like someone's asking me like, "Are you okay?" and things like that. So I was like, nothing. Even though the tour guide behind us would not stop talking, and I just kind of wanted him to stop. So,
Yeah,
but once
so
we got up there, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so we were in a gondola that takes you up through the jungle, and they balance the gondola for weight. So imagine a 5-row. Darrell's at the front. These other two guys are sitting next to each other. They have a space. They have Jordan and I, and then they have the tour guide. So they spread us out that way. So when he's saying people aren't talking, behind him, that's what they're talking about. My apologies. Pain
No, you're good. That was a great because people are probably like, "What are you even talking about?" But yeah. So then we get up there, and it actually wasn't that bad. I was like, okay. Once I will say, I think after like the fourth or fifth one, we were kind of like, all right, we can wrap this up.
Grown up. It's enough. Enough of this.
But because how many of them did we go down? Did we go down like 8 or?
It was 9.
Oh, it was 9. It was 9. It was 9.
Okay, yeah. It honestly towards the end didn't seem like it was ever going to end. So,
it did. But honestly, also shout out to Adventure Park, Paco, because they were great. Like me and Jordan were actively terrified, and I don't want to speak for Jordan, but they made me feel incredibly safe. Like I got up there, and my big issue is that my big ass, like getting into like a harness. I weighed 200 pounds, and I was like getting in that harness and putting like these little, what do you call them, the little utility looking belt things, and zipping on the zip line. I was like, can this handle my weight? Because I'm a big one. And I think that they did a very good job, like with the demonstration before we even got up there. We got up there and they were explaining things well to us. The lady took Jordan to see exactly how high it would be because she felt he was uncomfortable. Excellent saleswoman. And they just made us feel so. It was Adventure Park, Paco, Costa Rica. If y'all ever want to go ziplining, that is a great place to go. It was pretty affordable, I think, for what it was. And although I will say they had like a package where it was like a treetop canopy tour, and then also ziplining, and then like a butterfly garden. They were making it seem like you could get one or the other, but the treetop canopy tour was literally the gondola to get up to ziplining, so you had to do that. Like it wasn't its own thing. I said, people do anything for a little bit of extra change these days, so I ain't mad at it. But yeah, that was a great experience, and it was a good way to end our trip.
Yeah, I had fun.
I was going to say too, and Nickie throughout that experience, even though me and Darrell were terrified, Nickie was very almost oddly too calm through that experience and a little just unfazed at all. I mean, this man was literally ziplining with no expression in the beginning, just very much like, all right, let's just get down the hill, y'all. Towards the end, though, you did perk up and laugh and made jokes and stuff like that. So it did seem like you had a good time.
I did, yeah. I mean, I don't know why I wasn't scared at all, but I was just like, whatever, it's fine.
Like you could just been laid off. You're like, what is life? Who cares?
It's like if I fall off the zip line through the trees, that's just my luck at this point in Costa Rica. Because I don't think you realize, like, the whole journey of just getting to Costa Rica and then being in Costa Rica was just so much. Like, even like getting off the plane in New York City to get to the Uber to get to the hotel in New York was also a mess. Like,
yeah,
it was like, when did JFK start having to like put you on a bus to take you to another spot to catch an Uber?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And why is the Uber $90?
Which was trash.
Like, yeah. So it was just, but Yeah, and then coming back from Costa Rica, also driving through the mountains, street signs disappearing,
That
Yeah,
was scary. That
potholes
was
in the middle. It
scary.
was Costa Rica
yeah.
was
Driving to Costa Rica is a fucking mess. So,
yeah, but you need a
Yeah,
car.
10 out of 10 do not recommend.
But you
But you
but
need
you
a
do need a
kind of
car.
do
car.
need a car, unless you
You
stay like,
do.
unless if we had stayed in Hako and just wanted to be in that area, we might not have needed one. But like, I'm glad we had a car. We
Also, it's
needed a
hot.
car.
It's hot everywhere. It's literally hot
Well, I think
everywhere.
everyone that goes to Costa Rica knows that it's hot. So that's something that could have been avoided if, actually, no, it couldn't have been because we were going to Costa Rica. So now we know that when we take our friend trips, we know that we won't go anywhere that's super hot because Nikki won't be comfortable. I also told him, I was like, the next time I go on a trip with you, Nikki, I will plan nothing. You will plan it. You will decide where we stay. You will decide all of that. And Nikki's a little bit bougie, so if it costs too much, you can count my ass out. And so that is how we do things over here.
First of all, not you calling me bougie.
I've called
I
you way
mean,
worse. And
and
that's
bougie's
actually true.
and bougie's accurate. So
Y'all, we walked into the new Airbnb that Nikki picked, and all of me and Jordan were like, "Oh, this is really nice. This is cute. Great. Okay, no complaints, Nikki." Nikki walks in and goes, "This doesn't match the decor." I was like, "What? What? This man is never satisfied."
Y'all,
I
but
was like,
Yeah, he was very disturbed by this, and it was. I mean, it was a fairly large coffee table in the middle of
very
the
large.
room,
"I
but
liked it. It was cute."
but it
It
was
was
but it
too
was just
big
the
for the
fact
space.
that we like were visibly somewhere better, but Nikki still found something that was like this doesn't work, and you're
It's
like,
But
bougie.
well.
okay, let's rectify this. I'm not a negative person.
First of all, nobody said you were
But
negative.
Nobody
We
said you were
said you were
negative.
bougie.
I don't want people thinking that I'm a negative person. I'm always looking
You're
for the
not.
bad.
Nobody said
No,
negative. Nobody
no.
said
It,
nothing
it
negative.
was just like y'all. This is like it was a 2-story Airbnb, but it was like slender, and the coffee table is literally like 3/4 of the floor. So I was like, why is this so big for this little couch? It just didn't make sense to me.
It was a better Airbnb. We had a great time. I
I
went to
watched Aladdin for the first time
he
ever.
watched Aladdin for
Oh,
the
he did
first
watch Aladdin for the
time.
first time.
That was
Yes, you highlighted
fun.
that correctly.
Um,
Jenga.
Jenga was
Jingle was
we
fun.
have determined that the three of us are excellent Jenga players. Who the
Yes.
fucking thought? Great,
Yeah.
even when under the influence. Great,
Correct.
actually exacerbated by
Maybe
being under
right. I
the
was gonna
influence.
say. I was gonna say even a little better.
Right, I was
Yeah.
like laser focused. I could perform brain surgery doing. Actually, no, I probably could have done.
No. No.
We're gonna cut that
No.
part.
No. Let's not get that
So
part out.
Also, by the way,
Nikki was like, "No, we not."
I need to ask you something. If you want a fun Jenga game, it's called Dare or Drink Jenga, and you can find it on Amazon. So basically, the blocks all have dares on them, and you can do the dare or you can take a shot. So that's the one we were playing. We kind of just said forget the shot, forget the dares because the Jenga thing was getting crazy.
Yeah, we
But
needed to
it's really
focus.
fun.
But
It was
we are.
fun.
I would say we're all equally great Jenga players. I don't think anyone is better than the other. I think we all are very strategic. So I liked it. It was fun. I love a challenging little moment. But anyways, that was our Costa Rica trip. We survived, y'all. We're here. We're alive and well. So, um, but what has been going on happened last night, which was a lot of people across the nation were tuned in to something that was would we even consider it a debate? I don't know. That's questionable.
Yeah, it was a debate. Let's call it that.
But yeah, last night was interesting in
Mm.
so many different ways. So, um, but you want to, we can just share our thoughts and feelings. We don't have to have any kind of structure to this. Just dump your thoughts.
I think I would like to take on the responsibility, not responsibility, the wrong word, just the audacity to start saying, I don't have a plan, I have a concept of a plan. And let
Yes.
that and
That's the answer.
just let that rock with my entire life. Like if I go
The
into a
whole
job and
thing.
be like, I have no clue what I'm doing, but I have a concept of what I think I know I should be doing. Like that to me just kind of overall summed up what homie did at that debate. He had no
We have
plan of
concepts of a
action.
plan.
He had concepts of a debate prep because clearly
I think he
Kamala
said he did. I think his people were like he didn't debate for that because he said that he just
clearly
wanted to show up and be himself, and he
clearly
didn't need to. He didn't need to prep to debate her, which was a clear miss on his part.
when he
I
said
love I
I
love
have
that he
no
said
plan.
I love that he said I don't have one yet because I'm not a president yet. And I was like, that's not how that works. So I was just like,
People are supposed to vote on you because of the policies that you
because
want to bring. My God.
exactly. I was like,
You know,
oh, that's different.
I will say I don't. The thing about it is like, and now they're talking about like Kamala's people want to do another one. So what we're all saying is that we all know that Kamala Harris like literally ate up, devoured, and spat Donald Trump back out. It was a clear blowout. Democrats know it, independents know it, Republicans know it. There's no point in debating that. But and they already want to do a second one. I I feel like there's not much needle left to move, honestly, in America. Like most people in America know who they're voting for. There's no either like almost nothing could be done to change the majority of people's minds in either way. But from what I'm seeing of the people that are still undecided, which honestly I don't think there are that many people that are truly undecided. I think they're saying they're undecided because if you watch the coverage, they're leaning somewhere already. And one woman on CNN, she was like, "Yeah, I think Donald Trump won the debate." Which was fucking bizarre, obvi. And she was like, "Yeah, I just think Kamala didn't say anything of substance." And Donald Trump won.
He did.
Anyway,
Donald Trump
but
said them with substance. He said people in Springfield, Ohio are eating their pets.
goodbye. We're not even. But then they asked her. He said, "Did you vote for him in 2016?" She said, "Yes." And then he said, "Did you vote for him in 2020?" She said, "Yes." So she wasn't undecided. She was very much decided. She just
One of
wanted
TV
to.
op.
Right, because I'm like, you were decided. So my point is, I don't think there's much needle left to move, but of the needle that is left to move, from what I'm seeing, it's moving in Kamala's direction after the debate. And I think that that's a promising sign, considering that I know that this is going to be very close. I think that if there is another debate, Kamala Harris, while her she was spectacular in her debate performance, but what I will say is that I do think that at this point the Harris campaign has to listen to what the public is saying, and what she has to do is be very explicitly clear on her policy because they're still getting. And here's the thing. I feel like it's annoying for her because she is outlining policy. She is doing it, but she does have a way of sidestepping questions sometimes and not fully answering it that makes you feel like she's being purposefully evasive. And I think that if she wants to win, because now she has truly undecided voters are actively paying attention to her now and considering her. She needs to be meticulous about laying out her plan. Now that she's already put Donald Trump back on the defense, she needs to be meticulous about laying out exactly what she plans to do and how her economic strategy differs from Biden. Because I mean, from a supporter, she is being a little bit evasive, and people that don't like, she's not going to win because people like her, because people don't. She's going to win because she has the best leadership capabilities moving forward, and people want to be confident in that and not feel like you're trying to slight them or trying to trick them. So
Yeah, I think just from her standpoint, like even some of her she's running into the issue that a lot of politicians run into the issues of like saying these are the policies that I want to do. But if you're trying to, for example, I am a Democrat. However, I can be fiscally conservative at times. Meaning, like, if you tell me I want to give first time home buyers $25,000 to buy a home, which we all on this call be like, oh, great, wonderful, let's do it. The other part of me is like, at what expense of what else, right? So, how are we paying for this in order for this to happen? I think she's in that position now where she needs to kind of start tweaking, talking about how she plans on rolling out some of these things to attract more voters. Because I think if it doesn't, like Biden and some of the student loan stuff, if it if it doesn't like come to fruition, then we like you failed again.
Mhm.
Mm.
I do also think it's important to what she tried to do, but and honestly, Donald Trump kind of weaponized the judicial, like not judicial, but he kind of weaponized that process by saying like she wants to do this, it'll never work, she won't have the Senate, or like, you know what I mean, he kind of weaponized that against her, being, but also basically being like, well, you can have the presidency, but if we run this, which again is a problem because it should never be Republicans against Democrats, like it should be what's best for the fucking country, which is another message that I think Kamala is getting across very well. Like we don't have to always be this way, so the fear of me not getting things done won't necessarily be there because both sides can come together. But I do think that there's a process by which we have to hold her accountable for the things that she's not saying. And I think the process is not that Kamala Harris can just say, this is my policy, it's going to happen. He's right about that. But the process also can't be like Nickie said, we're going to give first time homebuyers $25,000. That sounds so amazing. You can say, well, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to start doing this and we're going to start doing that and we're going to start doing this point by point by point. Now, a debate platform with Donald Trump is probably not the most. You probably can't get that deeply into policy from that. And I would argue she hasn't said a whole lot about it because she wanted to wait until after the debate to kind of attack that point because I think she wanted to get people listening to her in a different way, but she needs to work quickly on it because it's not it's we there's 8 weeks left and people still feel like they don't know her.
Yeah,
And
I feel like she spent too much. She unfortunately had to spend too much time defending herself at the time because he kept throwing out so many, um, false things and really wild. And I was just like, he says a lot of crazy shit. But I was like, last night I was like, this man is truly just reaching for things. Like there was things that he was saying that I was like, my brain could not compute what was going on. I
what
was
did
like,
he
what
say,
is he doing?
transgender aliens or something like that? What did he
Yes,
say?
yes.
She wants to give gender affirming care to transgender illegal aliens.
Yeah. I said, what?
But also like I don't know about y'all, but I was thoroughly entertained with Donald Trump last night.
I mean, oh, definitely entertaining for sure. Not
Thoroughly
for
entertained.
the best
It was like
reasons.
watching a great train wreck. When they asked him about Kamala and him saying that she's not black, and his response,
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
I mean, I
I don't
thought
care
she
what
just
color
said
she
she was
is.
black. I guess she's black. I don't care. I don't care what she is. Like he wanted to say the
Right.
NIGGER word
He
He
so
did.
did.
bad.
He
He
did.
sure did.
And
He
Kamala was like,
sure.
well, let me. Kamala was like, I think you care a little bit. Here's why. I was just like,
And like even the
because.
way she responded to that, where she did entertain him not calling her black, she flipped it on. Here's
Mm-hmm.
this is how you have been a racist.
Right. And it's crazy because it's
Bravo.
like the fact is that like sh- I'm so surprised Kamala Harris didn't do anything surprising. She literally attacked every single thing I thought she would. She laid out every trap I thought she would, and he took it. He just took the bait. I'm like, this man, which raises a bigger question. This man is incapable of standing on a debate stage that he knows will be the most critical point of this election, and he's incapable of taking it in stride to illustrate his point. How is he going to do when a world leader disrespects him? How's he going to do when he's standing in front of a group of people that are great decision makers and he doesn't agree with what they have to say? This man
Mhm.
is incapable of stepping out of his own way and not being a fucking narcissist. And we literally saw it tonight, last night. There's no way, this man is in no way, shape, or form capable of holding the highest office in the country. And it's ridiculous that anyone, especially after last night, would think so.
Yeah, it's. I mean, to be fair though, like there was one question that I wish Kamala would have answered because, and I think it probably would have gotten her a little bit further with Republicans is when they asked her when he put the tariffs on China, why didn't you guys take those off or why did you keep
Mm-hmm.
those on? She and
Mm-hmm.
I would have said. Yes, that was a good thing, but one good thing doesn't discount the 18 other bad things he's done.
Yeah.
He did one good thing here. And I think
Mm-hmm.
admitting that to like I think that will go a long way with people who were like a little bit hesitant to say she probably is a bigger person to rise above like the foolishness.
Mhm.
Because when when she criticized and told him that people leave his rallies, that was the thing that ticked him off, and Trump was a mess the rest of the night. Like I was at the DNC the night the Obamas were there, and when Obama was like Trump's crowd size, he has his obsession with crowd sizes and moving his hand like this. That ticked him off, but this just brought it back full circle. He really has an obsession with people like praising him and the
He
amount of
does.
like
Yeah,
praise. It's kind of
that's
weird.
all he cares
He
about,
wants to be a
honestly.
dictator. He wants to
Yeah.
be a dictator. He like the fact that I'm giving the Republican Party a lot by saying this. Any other Republican Any other Republican probably would have waved that comment off. Would have just been like, okay, that's stupid. In any other situation, that would be such an asinine thing to focus on in a debate. But Kamala Harris knew that by throwing that out there, she was going to completely unhinge that man. That
She
man
did.
did not recover. All she said was that people leave his rally. They don't even go to her rallies. No one leaves my rallies. They're the best rallies. Everyone says so. They're the best rally. I'm like, what?
It's
Like,
it's like that is not important right now at all. Like,
it's literally not. It's literally not important. And he looked old as hell. He looked old as hell compared to her. And I think it's so funny because before Joe Biden left, all his attacks were on Joe Biden's age. All his attacks were on how he can't do this. He's too old. But Donald Trump looked like the old, decrepit man that he is on that debate stage. And I think that he knew that. I think he was aware that he was losing. I think that he went straight to the spin room right after the debate. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that if you think you did well? Like, who does
and he
that?
and he said after I think I caught a little bit of the afterwards. He said that that was the best debate of all time that he did. He said that was the best one of all. And I said of all time. I
It was
was
the
like,
most entertaining debate that I've ever seen
Bro,
between two presidential hopefuls.
it was up there with him following Hillary Clinton around.
Yeah.
That debate.
yeah, yeah,
Trump
I
was like y'all. This man said people are eating dogs and
Oh,
cats.
and I just have to say too, for my parents that live in Springfield, Ohio, no one is eating their fucking pets. Okay, like, and it was funny this morning. This morning, my parents were like, they're like, "Well, we're on our way to get some dog and cat. Do you want to?" Because I'm like, what?
I did not know your parents lived in Springfield.
Yeah. So fun
It's
fact:
so
I'm
funny.
originally from Columbus, Ohio. Grew up there. I didn't move to Springfield until middle school. Well, actually,
Mm.
yeah, middle school. On, I moved to Springfield, and it's like 45 minutes away from Columbus. But my parents moved there to be closer to my grandparents. But yeah,
Mm.
but yeah, when he said, first of all, I was even shocked to hear Springfield, Ohio at a debate. I was like,
He
wait,
said, hey,
what's
woo
going on?
woo.
But a mess,
Well,
an
what's going
absolute fucking
on is
mess.
apparently there are thousands upon thousands of Haitian rapists going to
Mm.
Springfield, Ohio, and eating everyone's dogs and cats. That's apparently what's happening.
Also, please tell me the correlation between Haitian rapist and a puppy
Right. I was like, what? That isn't
in,
even.
in Ohio of all places.
I said,
I
this
was
man is
like,
just throwing anything out here.
I don't even think he knew what he was talking about. I feel like
He didn't.
he heard JD Vance whisper it over coffee one morning and was like, "Yeah, that's a good point," and decided to say that because he ran out of shit to say. This man is so unserious, and like
Even to the
he
point,
just
like, even him just talking about that Kamala wants to execute babies after being born.
shout
Sir,
out to those fucking moderators
that is called
because
murder. That is no longer an abortion.
Right. Hello.
there
Oh
are
yeah, the
no
moderators were cracking me up too.
They're like, there are no states that allow abortions after 9 months. It's like,
what
yes, there are. I've seen them.
what
I read that. What?
what
And
and David
where? And
Muir
where? Name them.
David
Name
Muir
them.
child. I was like. David Muir, I know he had a few drinks after that debate because he was just trying to get. He's like, sir, at one point, I feel like he just wanted. If you don't answer this fucking question, like, he's like, can you just say yes or no? Literally, just yes or no. That's it.
Literally.
Donald Trump's like, well, no. The thing is, I'm like,
that's what Donald Trump does all day. He just runs in circles.
And like, at one point, you have to ask yourself. Like, I had to ask myself last night. I was like, wait, is he serious? Like,
did you really have to ask yourself that?
Yes, I was
of course, he's very serious.
I asked myself that actually like 3 or 4 times because I said, "This isn't a joke." I feel like I was watching when SNL does they mimic the presidential stuff. That's what it felt like I was watching.
I am so angry that SNL doesn't come back to September 28th because
this would have been perfect.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I think what's interesting about his debate style. I think that Kamala Harris is really benefiting from the fact that overall, I do think even his support, even people that kind of support him, I think they're kind of getting tired of the unhinged rhetoric. It's like you can always predict what he's going to say. And when you think about it, he really hasn't been on that many debate stages. I mean, in primaries, he did well because he was so shocking. He was saying so many weird things the first time in 2016.
Actually,
he was saying so many.
He's done more debates than any other presidential candidate.
That's actually true. That is well, actually, that is actually true. But in these debates, you can tell over time that he's really run out of things to say. Like he's really run out of ammo, and he's so predictable. And I think he's starting to recognize that. I truly think, and Kamala Harris called it out. He's truly starting to recognize like that he ain't really shit. And I think that like he recognized on that stage that she had completely outmatched him. And the problem that I have is not that she outdebated him, because honestly, she's a prosecutor. I expected her. If she didn't do that, then I would be like, damn girl, what you doing? You was over there. But the problem is that I feel very cognizant that he was aware that he was being baited. He was aware that he was being ate up on that debate stage, and he still could not put his pride aside. He still couldn't put his pride aside and deliver a message to the American people, the people that he wants to get their votes, the people that he wants to reach across the aisle and vote for him. Because, yeah, he has a strong MAGA base, but ultimately he does need undecided voters to vote for him this go round. And he just couldn't put it. Not only could he not put it together, he couldn't even try. He couldn't even try to do it.
Trump said Joe Biden doesn't even know if he's alive. I said, what?
She said,
I said, sir, you have literally run out of things. Leave the stage.
Baby, when Kamala Harris opened, she said, I'm gonna let y'all know tonight he gonna call names, he gonna do some crazy shit, he gonna say some awkward shit. First thing he goes, you're a Marxist, your dad's a Marxist. I was like, what?
Like the fact that CNN reported that for Kamala's one lie, Trump told
33 plus.
Yeah, 33 plus. So which means for her 3 lies, he told at least 100.
Right. Like anyway, I am. That didn't happen.
Well, I think it's safe to say everyone on this podcast will be casting their vote for Kamala Harris on
Bill Stein.
November.
Shut up.
No, I'm joking. Don't nobody come for me. I'm not voting for Jill Stein because
I am
we're not doing that. I will be voting for Kamala Harris. Let's not do that.
Darrell, I have a question. Do you want more CT jokes?
More CT jokes.
Supreme Court CT?
Oh, good. Listen, we'll never be friends again. We'll stop being friends. I'll never speak to you again.
Like Clarence,
can I just say, I just want to say this. I know, like, obviously, like this, we live in a democracy, and you're allowed to vote for whoever you want to vote for. But if you vote for Jill Stein, you're voting to throw your vote away.
Is she even on the
So,
ballot?
What are you
not in every state. She not in every state, but she is still on the ballot.
Girl, take your name off.
I'm just like,
forget it.
At this point, Joe, can you take your name off? Just because people like to be real contrarian and just like, I'm gonna that third party. That's such a problematic thing to say. I shouldn't say that.
There's like people on her actual team that are like waiting around for that too to happen.
Like,
That's
and to
sad.
think that she's actually like, why would I go sign up to work for a debate? I work for a campaign I know it's gonna lose.
I know, I know,
Well,
I know, I
well,
know. They're
the
not doing anything in that office.
Well, the idea, no, I get it. The idea is that we don't have to have just a two-party system, and that there can be, I get all that, and I do agree with the right to, because I don't necessarily fully agree with the two-party system. I just recognize that as of now, there's no point in going against that because one of them is going to win, and I would prefer to be represented by the one that I would like to win, or the one that's not a literal threat to democracy. So I just don't think that right now is the time to be casting third party independent votes. They want to send a message to the Democrats, I guess, that like you can't just get our votes by saying Donald Trump is bad and we're good. And I totally get that, but you bitches just be playing with our futures like it's nothing. And I shouldn't have said it like that. I apologize. It's not bitches, but like
But I mean, I am all for us no longer having a two party system. But however, there's a difference between ideation and reality.
baby. But
Mm.
they're gonna hit you back with, but that ideation could become a reality if
Could
everyone got on the same. If
not decide
everybody,
now.
but no. I do want to say there's credence to that. I agree with that. I want to say I agree that that ideation could become a reality if we all got together and really held the establishment accountable. That being said, that is not the reality currently,
But
and so
let me
it's
drop a clue.
not.
Let me drop a clue here. You don't start with that ideation at the presidency. You start that in local politics,
That's
and
also
then
true.
you move up the ladder. That's going to you need to create some type of change. It needs to start small. So like
That's true.
start in local if you want to do that. That's when you put your energy and focus in. But let's wrap this up because we're 51 minutes in, and I gotta edit this.
Oh,
Yep. Yep.
it's not like you don't have a
I was
time.
trying.
So
Ooh. All right. This has been another episode.
that's what you get for Clarence
Um,
Thomas.
Next time I'll just call you Coon.
Oh,
and on that note, have a wonderful day, everybody. Goodbye.
baby, have the day
Bye.
you deserve.